Is it actually possible to heal and fully recover from hard drug addiction or small addictions like, addiction to social media, shopping, overeating, things of that nature? My name is Anna and I am a certified transformational life coach, hypnotherapist, and a yoga teacher. And I am here to talk to you that yes, it is possible. However, it all depends on how much work a person is willing to do. Now, what I'm going to say in this video, I am not a doctor. This is not a cure. This is not something that I'm telling you gotta do in order to be free from addiction. No. These are just my personal experiences, opinions, and beliefs based on what I have experienced. So let's get started. Ask yourself right now, maybe you're struggling with some type of addiction, whether it could be a hard drug addiction or maybe drinking alcohol, social media, gambling, or maybe it's like small stuff like you want to stop eating chocolate, but you can't get yourself to completely stop eating chocolate. First of all, we need to understand, why do we develop these addictions? Why do some people get addicted to heroin, drinking alcohol, while other people try it and they're okay, they don't need it? This all begins with how much emotional trauma we have experienced in our childhood. So I'm piggybacking off of Dr. Gabor Mate's work, who is a brilliant doctor that has been working with and studying addictions, childhood trauma, stress, the link between all of these. Now, when we experience trauma, especially in childhood, because as children, we don't understand what's going on. We just know that we don't feel safe. This doesn't feel good. So personally, I grew up in a household where parents were really stressed. Mother ended up being a narcissistic type, never knew when she was gonna be angry, mad, or if she was in a good mood. When she was stressed out, angry, of course, I was stressed out as well. And then this led to my very first addiction, which was eating junk food, because it felt so comforting during times where I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing. When we experience trauma in childhood, this creates a disconnection, right? And also, stress impairs our brain development and brain function, because when we experience any type of emotional traumas and constant states of stress, like I said in my last video, 100 hertz of energy travels to a part of our brain which corrodes certain receptors, and when these certain receptors corrode, it impairs brain function. And because in states of stress, we don't feel safe. We're disconnected from ourselves, and also biologically, more stress hormones, the less feel-good chemicals. And a lot of times, like me personally, maybe these children are in isolation, they're by themselves. There's a lack of connection, and that lack of connection decreases our dopamine receptors. So we will have less dopamine receptors, and dopamine is that stuff that makes us feel really good. Like when we use drugs or even eat junk food, the reason drugs are so highly addictive is because the drug produces 5 to 10 times more dopamine. Imagine all of this, you're growing up, you're going from childhood into teenage years, yet you're still experiencing stress, disconnection, things of that nature. You get a little older, we get into junior high, we start experimenting with drugs. We like it, it feels good, we keep doing it every weekend, and then every weekend turns into during the weekdays, and then it just increases and increases. Now, some people are able to make it out, and then there's other people that unfortunately aren't so lucky, and they lose their lives to hard drug addiction. Now, think of a time when you felt unsafe. Maybe when you were a child or a teenager. Did you understand what was really going on? Did you believe that it's all your fault, that you're not good enough, something is wrong with you? And then maybe in adulthood, maybe you've overcome it, or maybe you still struggle with the imprint that this has left. Experiencing triggers to go along with it. Maybe it's preventing you from growing and moving forward in life. We tend to think that maybe something is wrong with us and that however, it's just a matter of creating connection where there is disconnection. Personally, after struggling for almost 10 years, no, actually scratch that, it was nearly 3 decades, because including the food, smoking cigarettes, and then it escalated to drugs, which was nearly a decade. At one point, I literally felt hopeless and helpless, thinking like, okay, this is it. I permanently and completely fucked myself up. Like I don't think there's any going back. I don't understand. Month by month, year by year, instead of things moving forward, instead of getting better, it was getting worse. Every day dreading to wake up. If I didn't have the drugs, if I didn't have alcohol, and I didn't have money, just dreading waking up, shaking, heart pounding, and just feeling so sick. To the point that there were a few instances. Now, my drug of choice, it started out with alcohol and then it escalated to heroin. So there were times where it's like, all right, I'm just gonna shoot up and I don't wanna wake up at all. This happened numerous times, but I kept waking up, and it was like, during that time when you feel so terrible, you're like, oh shit, I'm still here. What the fuck? I gotta deal with this? However, after almost a decade long, I don't know, it wasn't exactly just one incident that happened. I think it was just everything coming together, like knowing deep down that there has to be a way, there just has to be. And getting it together, starting out with like getting a job, focusing on diet and nutrition, which these things are huge in order to reduce stress and keep that stress down. Because when we bring that stress down, all of a sudden, enhanced mood, enhanced creativity, and intuition. Like, I'll be honest with you, what got the ball rolling? No one taught me at all. It was what I felt that was going to be right for me, looking at the bigger picture and using my intuitive intelligence. However, when you're spending your life in chronic stress, you're disconnected from that. So then doing things like bringing the stress down through holistic ways, such as diet, and then exercise, whether you're going for walks or doing some cardio, yoga is incredible, breath work, meditation, things of that nature. So you are giving your body the nutrition it needs, as well as doing things that release stress and tension. About after a week, couple weeks, focusing on these things, diet, nutrition, I got myself a job. I started doing a little bit of exercise, like walking. Well, actually work was a lot of exercise for me, like 10 fucking hours just doing stuff. I would get so exhausted. I'd be too tired to have anxiety. Anyway, now as I'm feeling better and better, just naturally, our attention is going to turn inwards more and more. We're becoming so much more aware and consciously creating, consciously taking action. We're thinking intentionally about things, what I want to do, why do I want to do this, what is this going to give me, what is this going to do for me, and working deeper and deeper with your shadow self, the subconscious mind. Oh, that's one of the most important things, that's working at this subconscious level, because this is how we experience effective and permanent change. Now, the next thing is discovering, who am I? Like, what do I really want? Getting that clarity on your life vision, your purpose, and why, and developing a strategy, surrounding yourself with people that are on the same path. And some people are gonna go really, really deep, or they're gonna go all in, and then other people are gonna kind of scratch the surface. And most importantly, the people that you start surrounding yourself with, making sure that They're either on the same page as you or they're way ahead of you and they have exactly what you are working towards. So starting to surround yourself with people like this. And then of course for addictions, I know they have a lot of support groups like the 12-step AA meetings, NA, or Overeaters Anonymous, things of that nature, which is a fantastic way to connect with others that will understand what you're going through because they're going through the same thing. In order to really effectively overcome any type of addiction, we have to substitute it with something else. So for example, instead of using drugs, doing something that will make you feel good naturally and in the long run, such as taking care of your body, eating healthy, working out. And I know it doesn't work right away. It can be hard. It's easier said than done. However, the results are worth it. You just have to be very mindful and conscious about what new things you're going to implement into your life and asking yourself, okay, how would this benefit me? Because I want to do something that will, so on and so forth. So it's really going deep with this. And if you're just starting off, I know it's really, really scary, especially if you really don't know who you are yourself and you're lacking the confidence, you lack maybe healthy boundaries, and you lack being assertive. Over time, all of these things will increase. They will increase as long as you are getting to know your real self and you're doing things that are in alignment with yourself. You're not pretending to be someone. You're not trying to be someone. I promise it gets easier and easier and easier. And over time, we even get better at deciding who we want to invest our energy in. Because now we better know ourselves and our self-esteem, our self-worth, our self-confidence has increased. And when this increases, you're not gonna tolerate stupidity and you will not settle for anything less.